Hey girl, hey. I have a very strong urge to go check on my plants, but it's finally raining. It has been like pretend raining for the last 3 days, and it's finally raining. So I'm gonna leave them alone. Today's the 4th of July. Jaden is cooking something.
I'm wearing my Dolly Parton outfit.
Nala's wearing Dolly.
I'm on a swimsuit because we're gonna have a water balloon fight.
Apparently there's a water balloon fight happening. I don't think there's gonna be too many of us over there, but we're just going across the street to my brother's house. Jaden's cooking right now. Nala made this cookie cake, which is just...
I made it all by myself, and then Mom told me, well, no,
It's just Toll House cookies.
Yeah.
You wanna hold it so I can take a little pic of you?
In the tub, I would say get 2, because you're probably gonna, if you want.
I can't believe that. That's crazy.
I would use 1.5 at least. We had 1.
Hold it so I can take a picture of you.
But this is also really big.
And tilt it.
Wait, no,
and
that's not
smile.
correct. This is correct.
And cheese. I love that you can take photos while you video. So yeah, she did a good job. We did have the big tub. That's
So
okay.
I'm
That's how it
glad
should
that
be.
I oiled it.
Yeah. So should we cut it? No, we cut it when we're there.
No, because
do we cut it now?
Different slices.
So we cut it when we go.
It's like a cake.
Correct. Okay. Yeah, it'd be weird to cut a cake before we take it. So I made a cold pasta salad.
Oh, those noodles look cool. I didn't know we had them.
Yeah, I think they're called ditalini.
They were really
Anyway,
good.
I made this. I'm gonna go ahead and put something over that bug.
They're actually called ditalini.
Yeah, so I don't know. I just was doing whatever. And I never did a cold pasta salad like this before, but I always eat them when we go to other people's houses and stuff.
Always have one.
But she doesn't always have one. Otherwise, I would have let her do it. She made potato salad.
Oh. She always has some type of sauce with it.
Oy.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Okay, there's fine. There's a new one in the pantry. And you know what? I think her name is Nana Joe on Instagram. I'll link her video. I used her recipe, except I didn't do the same amount of like mayonnaise and sour cream she did. I only had light sour cream, and I didn't have very much mayonnaise. So I did more mayonnaise or more sour cream than mayonnaise. And then I added a ton of ranch seasoning because I've been trying to use up the seasonings that we have, like the ones that have been there for a while that, you know, eventually everything goes bad, right? So I used a bunch of this ranch seasoning and then just whatever else. These are the ones that I started buying them at Costco. And so I just made like little replacement ones. And then Jaden has 4 minutes left, but he made ham and Swiss, like brown sugar and sliders. So he made those. They're cooking. They smell really good. I'll say good. Bless you. I haven't tasted them, but I'll help you out. Let me help this girl. Woo! Woo! Let me take a picture of you with it. We're gonna chronicle all of Jaden's food. Good morning. A little birdie told me it is super easy to make a brown sugar shaken oat milk espresso. A brown sugar shaken oat milk espresso. A brown sugar shaken oat milk espresso. A brown sugar oat milk shaken espresso. Damn it! I practiced this. Whatever. They told me it's really easy to make that drink with the brown sugar and the espresso and the oat milk from Starbucks. So we're gonna do it because I happen to have all those ingredients right here. A cup full of ice. Brown sugar. I think it's just like, I don't know, a tablespoon or something. It's really not that much actually when you think about sugar and how much sugar things have typically. All right, we're gonna do about that much. Put that right on top. Espresso, we're gonna pour that in. Whoa, that was a lot. I did a double shot. I probably was only supposed to do a single for this. I might need to transfer to a bigger mason jar. I messed that up. I should have only done a single shot. We're just gonna have a giant one, just for the sake of not, you know, running out of room. Giant jar. Giant jar of coffee. Now I'm gonna add more ice. Ice has been added. This is a rose jar, so if it looks a little funny color-wise, that's why. Brown sugar, shaken, oat milk, espresso. Okay, so currently this is supposed to be it, right? This is the whole shebang. We're gonna see how this tastes. I can't imagine it's gonna be nearly as sweet as my regular coffees, but that's okay, because I like these when I go to Starbucks. What's up, bud? Yes, that tastes exactly like what I get at Starbucks. This was a week ago, and obviously I've made this 10 million times more since then. Exhibit A. I was told by the baristas I was missing an ingredient. The ingredient, was cinnamon. So add cinnamon The next step is crucial, in my opinion. It makes a world of difference. But add cinnamon when you add the brown sugar and you do the shaking. You shake it because it dissolves the sugar. I don't know. I wasn't clear about that, but I'm sure you guys are so smart. You already knew that. So I'm just going to take a little bit of my creamer. There's just a couple tablespoons in here. I'm going to give it a little froth, and we're going to add a little cold foam because I do like the vanilla cold foam. But we ran out of vanilla, both the sugar-free and the non-sugar-free. We might have some that you can refill.
What happened to that like one that we got and it was like the
so good?
one from Oak and Bean?
So good.
Did we cut through all of it?
I don't know. There's probably some down there. You can work on refilling the coffee syrups today.
Sure.
They're down there. All right. So we're just making a little cream.
How do you refill them? Do you just take them out?
You literally just pop the top and then refill.
Okay. That looks really good.
It does look good, right?
Yeah.
And it makes like your little bit of creamer really go a long way. I know this looks gigantic because I had to switch cups. And that's honestly, it is big. This is probably like a venti. But it's because I did a double shot and I have so much ice in there that it diluted it. Now let's try it.
I'll have coffee.
Have you ever had a brown sugar shaken oat milk? A brown sugar shaken oat milk espresso. Have you ever had one? No. You can try this.
Are you not gonna like mix them with cream?
No, you can taste it already. Slaps. Slappable? Would you slap your mama over that? Would you slap somebody else's mama?
Yeah.
All right, that's good. It's slappable. You really think it's good?
Yeah.
It is, right?
I just hold my toe though.
And this doesn't have any syrup in it, which is
Ow.
crazy. Are you good? Are you okay?
Almost.
Okay. It's like when a baby gets hurt. You want to just be like, you're okay. It's good. You're all right. You're fine. Let's go. You want to go thumb wrestle? Or whatever you do with babies. I don't know. I'm a little out of touch. I guess if we're not going to Six Flags tomorrow, so you can go have a sleepover tonight if you want.
What?
Nala said it's Wednesday. She said you're going to church for the kids service tonight. And then her and Veda are planning to have a sleepover at Grandma's. Do you want to do that or
Yeah,
no?
I was so confused that I did not know that was happening.
Apparently, that's what's on the agenda according to your sister. She told me that this morning, so. Dang, couldn't even see my foot when I did that. You guys know I'm dealing with the tailbone injury. I wake up every day and I stretch and I work it out and stuff. It's still very prevalent. I've never had an issue like this for this long, so it's a little worrisome, I'm not gonna lie. But I was trying to kick up so y'all could see I couldn't even get my foot up there. That hurt. 4th of July?
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, we were there till like 11:30. Me and Jeffrey and Amy and Lewis were playing spades, and then 13, and then it's what was it called? Rack 'em up, not loser. What were they calling me? Low life. Then we played a game called Low Life, and I was the low life for about 90% of it. I don't think I showed my vlog fam that the other day I made granola. This granola is so damn good.
Almost out of it.
No, we're not almost out of it.
I mean, in that container.
Right, this was like the overflow, but I had made enough to fill this container, and it's very busy in there. I just want to give you a little look at it, right? It's literally so good. It's a banana. The recipe was a maple banana, but I wanted to use honey instead, so it's a maple. No, it's not. It's a honey banana granola. I used up all the oats that we had left, and it's so good, right? Because the kids have been eating smoothie bowls. So I was like, oh, I can make granola. I don't need to keep buying this bag of granola for I don't know how much. And then I was like reading it, and I was like, okay, oats, sugar, oil, flour, whatever that, I don't know what the last one is. Baking soda. I assume that's like a preservative type of, like that's why you would put it in there. But anyway, that came out so good. So next time I do it, I'll do it with you guys because I did it on a whim. It was like 10 o'clock at night, and I was just like, I'm going to make granola. Today we're going to make a sourdough loaf. Boop. Because we haven't had one in a while. And I'm going to make, I think, bagels. And if we're not going to eat them right away, I'm just going to freeze them. But we were talking a big game about the bagels yesterday, so I might have to go drop some off, right?
Well.
At your uncle's house. Yesterday we were telling Jason and Jeffrey and Josh like how good the bagels were because my mom made some too. And I might have to go drop some bagels off across the street. let them see what all the fuss is about, because those bagels are so good. I can show you guys making the bagels. I am using the sourdough discard, so I don't know how different they would be if you didn't start with the sourdough, because I believe they still have yeast. I forget. I'll show you when I make them though. I'm using somebody else's recipe, so same thing for the granola. I'll just link the recipe I used. Okay, I'm gonna go sit down and do my work. Oh no, I'm gonna check on my garden. It's so hot though. I don't even want to walk outside right now. I want to wait for like the evening to check on it, to be honest with you. I had my camera facing that way. Anyway, it was on the side of my computer, and when I moved it, I realized there was a cat there, but it scared me because I just watched a video of a girl playing that one song, Kiss Me, you know, on the guitar, and then a hawk flew in, and she didn't see it, and she spilled her drink all over her laptop as she was trying to save her pet, or I don't know, run away. Anyway, I was gonna say, this is so good. Like, to me, this was better than the one that I get at Starbucks, but I think it's just because I don't particularly enjoy the actual coffee. I don't like Starbucks. I don't know if it's just the roast that I get. It's not all of them, but like, I find that they have like kind of a bitter aftertaste. Not every single time, but a lot of the time. And obviously the espresso I made just now, like, I'm used to it. This is what I have all the time in my house, so this was a more pleasant experience. The fact that the jar is massive is throwing me. I don't love that, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't change the taste. So good. I will definitely be making that in the future. And I think today we're gonna make some waffles too. I know I told you guys I was gonna make the bread and the bagels, but I think I have a bunch of buttermilk from when I made butter the other day, and I want to use it because I don't know how long that stuff like keeps after. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like I bought buttermilk and there's an expiration date. I don't know how long, so I try to use it within a few days. So I guess I could always freeze it. No, but I don't want to. So I'm gonna make waffles, and we're gonna do like buttermilk waffles, and then I'm going to freeze the waffles so the kids have waffles. So right now we have like a few packs of Eggos left, but once those are done, because I would get them at Costco, so they were cheaper. Once those are done, I'm just gonna start making and freezing my own so the kids can have that. I used to do it all the time, but I don't know, it got away from me. So summertime, I have time to do it. Not that like my job super changes in the summer, but I've just kind of I've let my job kind of take a back seat to just like my family and my home life and caring about like what's happening in my home. There's been a transition. It's been a transition here, but I'm your girl still needs a job, so I'm still working, just not quite as much, which means I have more time for stuff like that. Plus, no one's in any activities right now, and with school not being a thing right now, we have a little bit extra free time. I'm going to continue to watch Sons of Anarchy in the background of me working and posting things. I'm on season 4, episode 14. I gotta tell you, season 2, like the big thing that happened, that stressed me out, but I thought that was a really good season. Season 3, the big thing that happened, and you know what they were trying to do the whole season, I didn't like it. I didn't like that season. I liked the last episode, but I didn't like most of the season. I just did not care. And then season 4, I was back in it. I was like, oh wait, hold up, and now this, and now this, and then I went on IMDb. Just, you know, because who doesn't go on IMDb when they're watching a TV show or a movie? And I saw how many episodes certain people were in, and yep, messed that up, because now I know who's gonna die, that's for sure. But that's okay, whatever, it is what it is. I don't know how they're gonna die or who's gonna kill them or what, so who is this? Somebody's leaving. There's like a bobcat in front of my house, and they just dropped off an entire front part of their... Who the hell is this? All right, cuties. I was just outside in the garden, and over the weekend, my lettuce like went to seed, bolted, right? That's what it's called. So it was crazy hot, crazy sunny, no agua, nada. So salvaged what I could to eat. I have a few lettuce plants. Only one of them did it, but this was the only one that I had like this. I don't know what kind of lettuce this is, but it is what it is. I did use that little salad spinner. Jay just spun it. Works freaking amazingly. But we're gonna go ahead and whip up this sourdough bread. I mean, it's a process, you know, but I thought now this time I would actually show you guys. We have a bowl. This is the ripe culture. This recipe is from the King Arthur cookbook, and this one calls for 454 grams, about 2 cups of ripe culture. So I know some of them you need way less, but this one in particular wants 450 grams. So I so far really like this recipe, but if you guys have like a tried and true, you know, amazing recipe that you know and love, let me know. Link it. Let me know who you follow for bread. I follow nothing but like bread and plant people on Instagram now. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's a blast. It's lovely seeing that instead of just always seeing like the same kind of like fashion stuff. Not that I have anything against it, because I still follow lots of fashion people. And obviously I'm still interested in it, but it's just not like what's really most interesting to me right now, which is a fun kind of transition, just seeing how life goes. Do you know what I mean? Like just kind of moving on to the next thing. You don't have to leave other things behind, but you know, it's interesting, that's for sure. Even though I measure it perfectly, I think just because some of it gets stuck in the jar, it's never quite enough, and I never like, I should overdo it slightly, and I just don't. I'm at 430, but I'm gonna have some discard today, so we'll just use some of that. This is like my mother or whatever, so I'm just gonna use a little bit of it, because the rest of it I'm gonna use in bagels later. That was pretty much perfect. So we're gonna use some of this later for bagels. And then I'll feed it. And then to this, you're just adding 5 cups of unbleached flour, 595 grams. And then you're adding 85 grams, which is about 3/4 of a cup of rye flour, whole rye flour. And then 1 3/4 cups of water. That's the recipe. After it's all like mixed in, you let it rise for 20 minutes, and then you knead in the salt. And for salt, you're doing, I think 17 grams, which is 2.5 teaspoons. That is all that goes in the bread. And then it's just kneading, rest, rise, knead, rest, rise, cut, rest, rise, and then oven, and then belly. But I'm actually not gonna wash this jar out yet. I'm gonna add some of the discard in here and then add warm water, because that's what starts the bagels. And I just mush it up, kind of like that brown sugar oat milk shake and espresso, nailed it. And it just kind of gets all of that sourdough like starter, you know, off of the sides. And I use that. Oh no, I wet my book. That's okay. Okay, so let me add those ingredients real quick. I like the King Arthur flour. It is the King Arthur book, so that kind of makes sense. And I have a scale underneath my bowl in case you didn't catch that. $5.95. Then we're gonna do the organic rye, whole whatever flour, I don't know. This is also King Arthur. This bag was like 15 bucks, which is wild. Thankfully, you don't actually need that much. And I'm sure there are plenty of recipes where you don't need any of it, but so far, so good. I really like this recipe. Okay. And then 1 3/4 cup water, or 397 grams. Oop. And now we mix it all together. I actually just use a spoon to mix it because it's messy. I don't want to stick my hand in there, and the spoon gets it done just fine. It's mixed together well enough. I'm gonna cover this and come back to it in 20 minutes. And then I'm gonna add that salt and do the wet knead method, which is, I'll show you. All right, while that's going, I just fed my starter. My brother told me I need to read Kitchen Confidential by Anthony Bourdain. And I really loved Anthony Bourdain, and I've read another book about him, but I never read that one, which is one that he wrote himself, obviously before he died. And he says it in the book, he calls it Feeding the Bee. So I was like, oh, I gotta read that book. Like, I don't know, he had an interesting sense of humor, but he was great. So the bagels are 3 3/4 cup of flour, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 1. This one's in a stand mixer, so it's crazy easy. 2 1/4 teaspoons of yeast, 2 teaspoons of salt, 1 2. It says to mix this, so I'm gonna let it mix for a second in my stand mixer. And I just use the dough hook, you know, because it's gonna knead it for me. So this is just gonna mix. I'll put this stuff back in the meantime. And then it's 1 cup of sourdough discard and 1 cup of warm water. So I stick this in here together. And it's about, I had about 100 grams of discard today. That's all I could really afford to give. And then I fill this with warm water, and I just shake it to kind of get all those little bits off. End up using a little bit more than a cup of water. You can tell, like, either the dough is gonna form the ball or it needs a little bit more water. If it's not forming the ball, it needs a little bit more water. It is warm water. I don't know how much of a difference that makes, but just so you know. I will link the reel that I'm following. This is not my recipe. I just saw it on Instagram. We'll see if it ends up needing more water. Last time I did it with honey instead of sugar, just like an equal substitution, and it was still really good. So if this one ends up needing a lot more water, I might add a little bit of honey to give it that little bit of liquid. Apparently I'm using most of my bowls, my glass bowls, so I'm gonna use this teeny tiny one. But the dough is nice and sturdy. It's a pretty sturdy dough. It's not super sticky or anything. So I just kind of shape it a little bit just to fit this thing. This is just like a lightly greased glass bowl. Throw it in there, and I'm gonna cover it for 90 minutes to 2 hours. Clean this up and get ready to knead the salt into the sourdough because that's been resting about 20 minutes now. My camera died and I don't want to go grab a battery, so I'm just gonna use my phone for a minute here until I can like wash my hands again. But I am like 5 deep into this, so just kind of chopping the dough, slapping it onto a new stack, and then starting all over again, right? So then you just got your new stack of chopped up dough, and you do it again. I do it like 6 or 7 times, and then I knead with my hands. This definitely helps the stickiness of the dough. So this is when you smack it, pull it, flip it. I can actually do this with a tool as well. This I know I still need a little work on. I know I'm not quite nailing this the way that the book wants me to. Sometimes I just use this thing again. Makes it a lot easier. Stretch it out, fold it over, pick it up, slap it. Stretch it out, fold it over, pick it up, slap it. After about an hour, you're gonna pull and fold it over, but I'll show you that in a second. Let me clean up. Okay, the breads are resting, so we're gonna do round 2. Back into a little jar. We did ice and brown sugar, and this time I did a single shot of espresso. A more respectable amount, I would say. Shake it. It was so good though. Like, I don't normally have 2 coffees anymore, just because I don't want them. If I do want them, I have them. But for the most part, I haven't been wanting them. I'm gonna add a little bit more ice. Okay, a little bit more ice, a little bit of oat milk now. Well, not a little bit, you know, enough. But I still want to top with that. I did 2 tablespoons of the cream, and I just frothed it up. I don't even know if it was 2 tablespoons, to be honest with you. It looked like a little less. Oh, I cannot wait. Let's see. Shaky, shaky, shaky. This is so good. It's not even funny how good this is. I've mostly been using Stoke lately, just for my like at home, you know, iced coffees and all that. And that's fine. Obviously I like Stoke a lot, but I'm glad to be using my actual like espresso machine again, because sometimes, you know, my stuff just sits here and I don't use it as much. And then I start thinking, do I really need this? Should it even be on my counter? I mean, I haven't thought that about you, girl. Love you. But I'm just saying, I need to continuously keep things in the rotation, make sure they're working, keep them fresh, keep them funky, keep them clean, all of that. Let me clean this and then back to work. Since I've been making bagels, no one wants to eat the ones that we already had, so I'm gonna go ahead and eat one of these because we're out of the other ones. I don't want to eat them either. No, they're perfectly fine. They're totally normal bagels. But obviously the other ones have been a more fun time. So I'm gonna go ahead and just toast a bagel because it's 1:30 and I haven't had anything. But that butter that we made the other day, the garlic and herb butter and the cinnamon brown sugar butter, so freaking good. I have been leaving it out. I don't know how, like, you guys told me to get a butter bell. I have one. I've had one for a long time. It sits back there. Water, butter. I will probably start using this for our butter, but just in the meantime, I've just left it out, which I know it will go rancid. I just don't know how quickly that'll happen. So these haven't been out very long, but I don't even feel like toasting, but I'm gonna regret not toasting it. Let me toast the bagel. I don't wanna end up with a bunch of butter bells though, so if I put these in the fridge, they're not spreadable, and obviously if I leave them out, they are spreadable, which is what we want, because then we're more likely to just use them up. But these are so good. They're so good. I'm back. And our bagel dough has doubled in size. I have a pot of water on the stove. It's getting ready to boil. By the time I'm done with this, it'll probably be boiling. That is because you're gonna throw your bagels in there with baking soda and sugar, and just cook them on each. We'll get to that. Anyway, I like to measure this to see how much I actually have so that I can cut the bagels into the proper size. I have my mat down again, and then I have a baking sheet with a sill pad on it, or a silicone mat. This is a knockoff one, and that's just so that they don't end up sticking. What is 1,017 divided by 8? We're gonna make 8 bagels.
1,017 divided by 8,488 is approximately 0.12.
All right, they're all measured. So I'm gonna go ahead and roll them each into like a ball essentially, so that they're nice and smooth, because I have been rolling them out and then just kind of like rolling them into a log and then kind of circling them, but they don't stay together as well. They don't look as good when you do it that way. So I'm gonna do them a little bit differently this time, where I just create a smooth top and then I'll go in through the center. So now I just push into the center. I have all my stuff prepped now for the toppings, and then you just pull it apart to create your little, what is this called? Not a donut, a bagel, your bagel shape. All right, now they're ready for the boiling water. I also turned the oven out to 425 because that'll be the next step. Okay. In the water goes about, I don't remember if it's a teaspoon or a tablespoon, so this much. Baking soda, about the same of sugar. And now they go in. I do like 2 at a time just to give them a little bit of space, because they are gonna puff up a bit. 60 seconds on each side. See, that one already is puffing up, came up to the top. It's only been about 20 seconds. All right, this is after 60 seconds on each side. And so you can see the difference between the one that was in there and one that has not gone in yet. Okay, all 8 of them have now gone through the little boiling process. These are the hottest, these are the coolest, so we're gonna start on this end. I'm gonna do a couple that have onion salt, and then this fresh like cheese that I had gotten at the farmer's market. It's kind of tangy. It's like I think it's some kind of smoked cheddar, but there's something else to it. And then we're gonna do a few classic, it would be helpful if I showed you the label, everything but the bagel ones. And then we're gonna do some cinnamon sugar ones. This is literally just cinnamon and sugar that I mixed together. And we're gonna start them all off with a little egg wash. It just kind of helps it stick, and then kind of helps the color a bit too. Starting here, I'm gonna do the onion salt with the cheese. You really don't need the onion salt, just the cheese is gonna do it for you probably, but I like that little bit of extra flavor. The cheese ones are so good. The kids really like making them into bagel sandwiches in the morning. I've had some people concerned with the amount of bread that I'm making, and I just want you to know that it's gonna be okay. It's probably gonna be okay. We are a family of 4 here, and it might look like I do these things every single day. I don't. I only try to show you guys the interesting bits, but if my kids had a bagel sandwich for breakfast, I think it's gonna be okay. I appreciate the concern if it's genuine. If it's not, I don't appreciate it. Yeah, this was like the perfect amount for 3. I've done a couple different kinds of cheese. I did a Parmesan one, that was really good. So those 3 are done. We'll make these 3 everything but the bagel. One thing I try to do though is wipe all of this away from my 2 sweet ones, because otherwise it does affect the flavor, obviously. Just the scent of this stuff will kind of almost infuse itself into the sweet ones, which we do not want. The perfect world, I wouldn't be making them all at the same time or on the same tray, but that's life. I don't care. I'm just gonna, you know, I don't like dirtying every dish in the house. Despite the fact that I dirty a lot of dishes every day, we're just gonna make this work. I don't have a shaker for this. I feel like that would be way better if I did, but it is what it is. I wanna make this kind of more crunchy, almost like the ones that you get at Panera. I'm not sure how to do that yet, but I'm sure either one of you can tell me, or I will be Googling it in the next couple of days. The next time I make these, actually, I'll probably Google it. so I can have like a crispity crunchity kind of top to it. These are about to go in a 425-degree oven for 20 minutes, so they'll go from looking like this to the finished product, which looks like this. This is what they look like fresh out of the oven. You can probably see that the hole has almost disappeared because of the way that I did it this time. I don't mind that, honestly, because before they were kind of coming apart because of how I did it. So this looks good to me. I'm perfectly fine with this. That being said, if I wanted to have that more prominent bagel kind of hole, then I would just pull them apart even further. But it's all good, trial and error. I don't care. They're gonna taste amazing. I'm just gonna let them sit here and cool off. My sourdough baking situation doesn't need to start for about 75 minutes. So I'm just gonna leave these, let them cool. I just did a bunch of stuff and cleaned up the kitchen. So now I'm gonna go back to work. I've been nursing this coffee since 1 o'clock. Maybe I'll finish it, maybe I won't. But either way, these look so good. So at this point, it has risen for those 2 hours. At the 1 hour mark, all I did was pull and push it into the middle. Like I just did that all the way around. So it's been 2 hours now. I'm gonna throw a little bit of flour onto this mat and then we're gonna flip it out. And it says at this point to divide it into the 2 loaves, but I just make one huge loaf because it fits perfectly in my Dutch oven. So I'm just gonna do the 1 loaf and then it's gonna proof for another 2 hours, but I am gonna switch the bowl from this glass one to the other one. There she is. Drop it into this little basket to proof. I forget what these are called. I mean, I like know what they're called on paper, but I don't know how to say it. I don't know that I've ever heard anyone say it out loud. So there it is. We're gonna cover this and then she's gonna puff up to be much bigger and then she'll be ready to go. But the oven needs to be hot and the Dutch oven has to be preheated with it. So it'll end up being at 450. The Dutch oven will be in there empty and the Dutch oven will then be at 450 as well. It is freaking hot. My pot holders can't even handle it, so I might need to get some new ones because it gets very hot. And my trip from the stove, or from the oven to the stove, as you can see, is about 2 steps. And in those 2 steps, it's burning me through my pot holders. So I'm gonna cover this. Not a whole lot to do. This has 2 hours to go. Hello, lovelies. I'm sporting a monster headache. These are still sitting here. I cut them and then I put them in a bag. Not sure how else to keep them for now, but they're cooled off. Moving back to our sourdough, it has risen enough and I'm gonna go ahead and score it. My Dutch oven is in here in a 450-degree oven right now. I'm gonna try to score it and then I'm gonna just lay it in there with 2 pieces of parchment paper. That's just how I drop it in. And then it wants you to do this like steaming method, which as far as I know, from what I read, it's just having the Dutch oven with the lid on in here, and then you drop your bread in, you put the lid on, and then after it cooks for 15 minutes, you take the lid off and you cook it the rest of the 20 minutes, I believe, without the lid on. And that's the steaming method, apparently. I don't think it's necessary, but I do it because it's the difference of a lid. So it's not really a big deal. I'm gonna try to score it a little bit differently today. We'll see how that works out. I bought this little bread kit thing on Amazon. It's not amazing quality by any means, but I will, I'll link it, I guess, if you're interested. Should I put it in the parchment? No, I'm gonna score it here first. I think I see this one woman, she like goes down this side and then she does 1 slit. She does, I don't know, girl. I'm just gonna see what I can do, okay? Okay, and then we're gonna do a slit on the other side. Looks like this. I don't know, girl. And I drop it on here. I probably should score it while it's in the actual thing, but whatever. And then I try to cut a little bit of it off usually. But you know what? I'm actually just gonna, one time I grabbed the lid, forgetting the lid was also a billion degrees. Not a billion, right? 450. Might as well be the same thing. I'm just gonna shove it in actually, a little bit. Just so it doesn't scorch and set on fire. Okay. This is now going in the oven. I think I might have a bagel. I have an epic headache right now. It's really bothering me. I had to stop. I had to like get off the computer and I just took some Aleve. I'm hoping that'll help. I took Aleve because I've been taking that periodically here and there for my back. But yeah, so let's slice the bagel. Let's make a little bagel for I don't know what this is, dinner, I guess. I don't know. The kids are about to leave. They're going to church with my mom, and then they're going to go have a sleepover at her house. So I'm just going to be home chilling, me and LG, doing the darn thing. I'm just going to watch Sons of Anarchy and smash this bagel. Well, I forgot we had a burger left from the other day. So I'm doing a little cheesy, oniony bagel. And then I'm going to throw the burger on there because otherwise this is just going to continue to sit in the fridge forever and no one's going to eat it. We're going to put a little tomato slice and then these pickles that I made. As much as I like this jar, it did break. It's obviously a glass jar, but it's like cracked right here. It's on the outside, so I'm going to finish using it. I love this jar though. I'm like trying to figure out where I can get another one. Because I got this one at like TJ Maxx, but it was the only one that looked like this, I think. Anyway, we're gonna put some of these pickled onions and cucumbers on our little burger. And we're just gonna treat the bagel like a little bun. I just wanna get out of this kitchen. I just wanna go sit down. I'm so tired and my head is killing me. And then a little bagel. And look, now it's like a little burger bun. The rest of the tomato on the side. It looks like it's about to storm. And what I try to do now, yeah, it's looking like it's about to seriously storm. Hopefully they don't get caught in it. You know, nothing too treacherous or anything. We do welcome rain here. So, oh, it's already blowing pretty bad. But what I've been trying to do is removing the lids of my green stalks so that, oh my goodness, look at, you see the sky? It's a lot darker than it looks on camera. That's really dark. But I try to remove the lids of the green stalks so that they can collect the water and they can distribute it, you know, evenly. Oh, remember how I burnt all the, not burnt, but how I murdered my pepper plants? Check out what they're doing now. They're attempting to bring themselves back to life. Is it gonna work? I have no idea. This is not coming back to life, unfortunately. It's dropping little sunflower seeds everywhere. Oh man, this guy is just sad. I took his brother out and that was really his support system, and now he's just limp as can be. I don't know. I don't know what to do about that. Anyway, I gotta get back inside because it's about to get crazy out here. Do your best. It's flowing like crazy. That's where the chairs are now. We'll see where they are when this is over with. And this is dinner for the day. I had 2 bagels today. One of them was a bagel burger. Not my finest hour. 2 bagels and 2 coffees. And then I cut up a bunch of nectarines. Hopefully the kids will lunch on these before my mom gets here. We are 15 minutes in. Time to remove the lid. You want to remove it facing away from you. It's hot, baby. It's hot and steamy in there. All right, just cut the bagels, put them away, had my dinner, and now it has been an additional 25 minutes, so we're at a solid 40 right now, and I'm gonna go ahead and take the sourdough out of the oven. Yeah, the way I cut it was stupid. Don't be like me. Be like someone who knows what they're doing. Or be like me and just live, laugh, love. I know some of y'all love that, huh? I bought some new stuff. I just got this in the mail. This is because I disconnected the hose thing for the dryer, and the tape is not taping the way it should be taping, and I keep getting this error message. And then this is because there's something stuck like in the lint trap, and even though I have like the handle with the thing, you know, my Dyson or whatever, I need one that's bendy so that it can really get in there without being, it's a whole thing, but I bought this flexi bendy like attachment that can supposedly attach to the Dyson. We'll see. We'll be doing some fun dryer related activities later. But here's my bread. I am gonna take this out of the pan, and I'm just gonna sit it to the side. I'm gonna take this out of the pan and sit it on the board. Okay, we are nowhere near cutting this thing. I'll probably cut it tomorrow, actually, because the kids are gone anyway. No one's sitting here like, Mom, can I have some bread? No one's doing that. And I'm not doing that because I am super full. So this little beauty will be wrapped up so that she can finish cooling. It's only 6 o'clock, so I'll probably wait a few hours before wrapping it, let it really cool. Nice and... Anybody home? It's pretty hard. Yeah, you see the way I cut it was really dumb. But whatever. It came out so good. I'm so excited.